Welcome back to Easily Explained, where today we will be talking about AR verbs in the preterite tense in Spanish. So let's get started. So from here, we will start talking about the preterite tense. Before this video, we've always been talking just about the present tense. So we weren't able to switch between tenses, but now we're going to start talking about the preterite tense, which in Spanish tells what happened at a particular moment in the past. So basically, if we wanted to talk about something I did last year, I would use the preterite tense. And so just like we had different conjugation charts for AR and ER-IR verbs, we are going to do the same thing, but in the preterite tense now. So we're going to start with, in today's video, the AR conjugation chart for the preterite tense. But quickly, before we begin, I just wanted to review subject pronouns. Yo is I, tú is you, usted is like the formal form of you, and él is he, ella is she, nosotros or nosotras is we, vosotros, vosotras is like the plural of tú, the plural of informal, like y'all. Ellos is they, but a group of guys or at least one guy and a bunch of girls. Ellas is a group of girls, and ustedes is usted, but plural, so it would be the formal you. So now with this conjugation chart, we are just going to add in the preterite AR verbs, and it correlates to the exact same place. So our AR conjugation chart is hasta o, amos estáis aron. So just like how you memorized all of the different conjugation charts for present tense, we also have to do the same thing for each and every tense. So it's important to memorize, especially because in preterite tense, we're also going to have to start getting into many different irregular verbs, and there's a lot of them this time. And it's not like stem changers where one thing will apply to all of them. It is more of a memorization thing. So in Spanish, that's crucial, especially because we need to learn vocabulary and we want to be able to actually hold a conversation, since right now we are just teaching grammar and not vocabulary, but it's still really important so that you're able to use the grammar and to practice that grammar. So if you notice, though, that sometimes you can see the E ending in present, and you definitely see the O ending. It's for the yo form. So how do you distinguish? Well, you probably noticed that in the preterite tense, we have accents. And these are very important to use because then we won't be able to distinguish the preterite from the present tense. And it would be considered wrong if we said, yo compré, or él compró, and we didn't have the accent on the O. This would mean I bought, or buy, because that would be still in the present tense. And this is not okay. So that's very important that we make sure to keep our accents. When we get on to irregular verbs, I won't go too into that, but they don't have accents. And so when that happens, you have to be very careful about context. And we'll talk about more words that signify that is in the preterite tense. Also, those verbs are irregular though, so it's a little bit less of a hassle. And you'll also notice that the nosotros form, amos, is the exact same. So this is why context is very important. And let's go over some context words before we get anywhere else. Ayer is yesterday. Anteayer is the day before yesterday. And one way that you can remember this word is obviously the ayer is the year or the yesterday. And antes it's written as, means before, while después means after. So that's actually very nice. It's literally just before yesterday. But specifically, the literal translation is day before yesterday. You might also see anteanoche. Noche is night, so in the same way, this means the night before yesterday, or the night before the last one. El año pasado is last year because el año is the year. Pasado, think of it as past. And then in the same way, el mes pasado is going to be last month. And la semana pasada is last week. So from here, if any of these words pop up, that's when you automatically have to think, yes, I'm talking about preterite tense, because this is talking about past, the past. It's not talking about what's happening right now. It's talking about something that happened in the past, in a particular moment in the past. Also from here, you know many of the date terms. Año is year, el año. Mes is month, semana is week. So now you are also expanding your vocabulary in more ways than one. So now that we've reviewed that and you are an expert in that, let's go back to AR verbs. Let's practice conjugating some verbs. Let's make a conjugation chart for the preterite tense of visitar, which means to visit. So we have yo first. Our ending is e. So yo, the conjugation part itself, the method is the same. We're going to remove the AR ending and then add the correct ending. Yo visité. Make sure to actually pronounce the accent as well. So just in case you are speaking Spanish rather than just writing it, people will still know that you mean preterite. Tú visitaste. Ella, usted visitó. Now see the difference in my voice. Él visitó, yo visito. Accents are very important in Spanish, so make sure to keep that in mind, especially now that we're expanding our tenses. We have nosotros visitamos. Vosotros visitasteis. And ellos, ellas, ustedes visitaron. So this is our full conjugation chart for the verb visitar in the preterite tense in Spanish. So now if I wanted to say, I visited Arizona last year, I would say, yo visité Arizona el año pasado. And with any other subject pronoun, I would just use the correct conjugation with that one. All right, now it's your turn to practice. So we split up the practice into two separate parts. For number 1 and 2, write out the full conjugation chart like we did before. Keep in mind the endings are e hasta o, amos, estáis, aron, and just write down the entire word in each different conjugation. For numbers 3 and 4, you're just conjugating the word in the parentheses to the subject pronoun that is already given. Also, for those two, since they are sentences, try to use context clues and figure out what the sentence is trying to say. Because again, vocabulary is very important as well. But pause the video now and start on your practice. Alright, so let's start with the first two problems where all we have to do is write out the conjugation chart. Keeping in mind again, hasta o, amos estáis aron. So we're going to start with estudiar. Remember, we get rid of the AR ending and then we conjugate it with the correct one. So that would be I studied. Tú estudiaste. You studied. Usted, él, ella estudió. Nosotros estudiamos. Vosotros estudiaste. Estudiasteis, sorry. And ustedes, ellos, ellas estudiaron. That would be our full conjugation chart. So anytime we wanted to use estudiar, we would use this conjugation chart, except we wouldn't have to write out all of it because we would probably be given a subject pronoun like in 3 and 4. But now for tomar, to take, we're going to do the exact same thing. Yo tomé. Tú tomaste. El, ella, usted tomó. Nosotros tomamos. Vosotros tomasteis. Ustedes, ellos, ellas tomaron. So basically, in every AR verb that's not irregular, but we'll be talking about the irregular one soon, so don't worry. It's going to follow the same pattern, hasta o, amos estáis aron. Alright, number 3 and 4, write the correct conjugation of number 3, mandar. Ellos mandar a caballo. So when we look at the conjugation chart, hasta o, amos estáis aron. Aron is the conjugation for ustedes, ellos, ellas. And mandar, we'll get rid of the AR part. So we'll say mandaron. Aron. So it'd be mandaron. And this means they rode a horse. Mandar is to ride. Caballo is horse. Number 4, ella blank viajar a Puerto Rico. Again, we'll get rid of the AR. Viajó with the conjugation is o with the accent mark. Ella viajó a Puerto Rico. She traveled to Puerto Rico. Congratulations, you are now an expert at AR verbs in the present tense in Spanish. I hope this video really helped, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!